Is this what you're going to be cooking in your husband's house? Is this how you're going to be doing in your husband's house? I heard those things over and over and over again right before I got married, while I was still living with my parents. Whenever my sister and I would make a cooking error, my mom would be quick to say, is this what you're going to cook in your husband's house? And that put a fearful desire in me to learn how to cook, because I thought to myself, if I never learn how to cook right, then I may never make a good wife. That experience created a fearful desire in me to learn how to cook if I would ever make a good wife. But you see, you can be a godly wife in a beautiful home and live a fulfilled life without knowing how to cook. You can be an immature, unready lady who lacks character but cooks the best meals. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lade Owolabi, and as you can tell, we're still continuing on the Wife in Waiting series, and I'm very excited about this series. Our key verse is from Proverbs chapter 18 verse 22 that says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. Not a cook, not a cleaner, but a good thing. And another thing that would like to state, just in case you didn't watch the first episode of this series, is that you are a wife before you are found. On today's episode of Faith Friday, I'm going to be sharing 3 characteristics of a godly wife, a good wife. And these are things you're supposed to know and learn and do before you get married. So without any further ado, the first one is a woman of noble character. In Proverbs chapter 31 verse 10, it says that a wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. A wife of noble character. To be part of noble character, what does it even mean? It's defined as having high personal principles, having high moral standards. Noble means something good, something right? The next thing is leadership. In 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3, I'm going to read. It says, but I want you to realize that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is man, and the head of Christ is God. So although God is the head of Christ, Christ is still able to take leadership steps, right? Husbands being the head of a wife does not mean that you are leaving him alone to take responsibility of everything that goes on. In fact, the way I define leadership is a definition I'm stealing from PJ, my husband, and he defines leadership as being able to discover, develop, and deploy one's noble calling. So it has to be a noble calling. You have to be able to discover it, develop it, and deploy it. And in the institution of marriage, the role and responsibility of a wife in leadership helps to discover. So the woman has to even be able to see that, this man has a future. This man has something that I think I can work with. Then developing it. Everything that has to do with development in a home, most times dwells on the woman. Being able to nurture a child physically, biologically, being able to nurture children when they are born, teaching them morals and all of those things. That's leadership. So leadership is very important. You cannot marry a woman who cannot take initiative. She can't see that something needs to be done and she does it. She's waiting for daddy to say electricity, because in this part of the world, I live in Nigeria, by the way, if you didn't know, we pay for electricity as we go to see that, your electricity is almost finished, so you need to buy more. To see that, we need this in the house. It takes some kind of leadership, and a woman who is not ready for that cannot properly become a good wife. So it's very important. Another characteristic is wisdom. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 1. The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears it down. In the first episode, I talked a bit about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Wisdom is putting what you have gained, knowledge, the information you have gotten, putting it to practice. So if I tell you, for instance, that, you need to learn how to be a good leader if you're going to be a good wife material, because it's a good characteristic of being a wife, then you need to put that knowledge that you have received to action. So a wise woman builds her home. And if you're going to be a wife, if you're going to have a godly home, a purposeful marriage, and a successful life as a woman, then you need to be wise. You need to put all the things you are learning to action. I'll share 2 reasons with you why this is extremely important. Preparing yourself to be a good wife, to be a godly wife, for a good and godly marriage. Being a wife is being a good thing. And there is more to being a good thing than cooking and cleaning. If a man wanted somebody to cook for him, he would get a cook. If he wanted somebody to clean for him, he'll get a cleaner. If he wanted somebody to do his laundry, he can get a washing machine. Being a wife is being a good thing. And a good thing is not just being relevant in one aspect but lacking in the others. It's something that has to do with a full package, a total package, where all round you are ready, you are whole, and you can take on that task of being a wife. Another reason why you should learn about it is because you need to have high moral standards. You need to have high moral principles. Your personality has to be that of fine quality for you to be a good thing. If you're going to have a godly home, not just a godly home, a successful godly home, then you have to take this to heart. And that's part of the reason why you need to understand these characteristics. So these 3 characteristics that I've mentioned, how do you get them? How do you get a noble character? How do you lead yourself? How do you learn about leadership? How do you get wisdom? Let me share a few things with you. Being a lady with noble character doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be like part of the elite in the society. You don't have to be part of the royal family. You don't have to be on any board of trustees. That's not what being noble is. Let's read from Proverbs chapter 31 verse 30. It says, charm is deceitful and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. That's the secret to having noble character, fearing the Lord. There is no way that you will fear the Lord. When you fear the Lord, you obey his commandments. When you fear the Lord, you will do what he loves. And when you have a relationship with God, which is what he really wants, why he created us, when you have a relationship with God, then the fruits of the Spirit will dwell in you. The last series I did was on the fruits of the Spirit. I'm going to link it somewhere up on this video so that you can go and watch. Love, joy, peace, kindness, gentleness, meekness, self-control. Those things will be in you. And how do you get it? It's by fearing God, by going closer to God. So what's your relationship with God like? If you're going to be a lady of noble character, then you have to have a healthy relationship with God. The next thing is leadership. How are you going to lead in the home? As a woman and as a wife that I am right now, and a married wife for that matter, I can tell you for sure that you're going to really need to learn about leadership. But how do you do this? You do it by leading yourself first in your personal life, discovering your purpose, developing your purpose and deploying it, also helping others through the same process. A leader does not influence people to do what they want so that their dreams can be achieved. A leader helps other people to develop, to discover, develop and deploy their own noble purpose so that they can achieve their own purpose. It would be very wrong. And you see, in the place of lack of preparation, that's why a lot of our mothers miss it. I can't imagine having a child now and saying, I want you to become a doctor. And then I do everything for that child to become a doctor. I am leading, yeah, but I'm not leading right. Because leadership is not just about influence, because you must listen to me. You must obey me because that's what the Bible says. That's ignorance. In leadership, you have to help people to fulfill their own purpose. So as a mom that a wife would become eventually, as a wife, as a married wife, you have to be able to allow your husband fulfill his purpose, leading to help your children, leading to help them. But you start with yourself first. So it has to work for you first. But Mia Dejima always used to say that if your Christianity doesn't work at home, don't bother exporting it. So this idea of leadership, you have to lead yourself first as a lady. You have to be able to wake up early and study. You have to be able to figure out, what is my purpose on earth? What am I doing here? Eventually, don't worry, as we go on with the series Wife in Waiting, we're going to talk about purpose and finding purpose. But that's how you lead. First, by discovering what your own purpose is, developing it, deploying it, and helping other people achieve their own purpose. Last but definitely not the least, the last characteristic I've talked about is wisdom. How do you get wisdom? Proverbs 14 and verse 1 says that a wise woman builds her home, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. Wisdom, I've told you in the previous episode, is the application of knowledge. Knowledge is when you get information. So you're getting knowledge as I'm speaking to you now. But wisdom is sitting down after you watch this video and saying, okay, now I've listened to this thing, I've gotten the information. How do I apply it into my life? How do I put this knowledge to application? Do I know why I'm here? Have I discovered my purpose? How can I develop my purpose? A lot of the things that have helped me, and I'm still developing, you have to understand that this journey of becoming a wife is not a destination, it's a journey. And so development happens as long as you're alive. Deployment as well. but you need to know what you're developing. So after you watch this video, I want you to sit down and just have a moment of meditation with yourself as a young lady or a young man. Think to yourself, what am I doing with my life right now? What are the things I'm supposed to be developing? There's some of you who are busy worrying about your wedding day, and you're worrying about, the man, and you're worrying about, your bridal train and the type of dress you're going to wear, the silhouettes and all of that. You're bothering about all those things, but you really haven't figured out, what am I supposed to be developing? Some of you need to be in fashion school. Some of you need to be in cosmetology school. Some of you need to be in, cinema school, whatever it is. Whatever your calling is, whatever your purpose is, this is the time to develop it. I hope you've been blessed by today's episode, and I look forward to your response. Don't forget, E for energy. I want to see you guys posting this on your social media handles, and please be sure to share it. Be sure to share it, because this might just be the information that will save a life or save a marriage. There are people that have married wives that did not get a chance to get this information before they went into marriage. So please do them a favor and share it with them. I love you so much. I'll be looking forward to continuing the conversation in the comments below. So please leave a comment. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Until next time, don't forget to be the best version of you. Bye.